Rejoin our symphonic sherlocks as the studious Tavo De Querce steers them seaward, wondering why wisps would lump together near a lighthouse.
Setting off from the cliffside dock near Vertere Manor, in this teak-decked speedboat, the Calypso, you sail around downtown, seeing the lights of the skyscrapers, seeing the ships coming in and out of the docks there, seeing container ships and passenger ferries loaded up with passengers and cars arriving into downtown as you move up north along the coastline past Dodo, a bit of a more industrial neighborhood that leads up to the furthest northeast part of the city, where a magnificent dome is perched right on the coastline. Tonight, there's some sort of event there, so there are big searchlights that are whirling and spinning. And you can see in a mirror to that, off another mile and a half to the north, is the whirling light of the lighthouse on Tim's Island. Curious what Tavo is thinking as he's coming back to this place.
Tavo is just kind of hoping everything works out this time, because it's kind of an eerie place, and he didn't really get into this to be a ghost hunter, so he's like, I just hope I get what I need and can stop having to come back to this place at night, because it's really getting creepy.
The island is fairly small, but it is rocky, right at the coast, as it is battered by waves and the tide moving up and down here. You are able to slide your boat in alongside of a dock and tie up, and from the dock you can see that there is maybe 100 yards or so away a lighthouse that is sort of built up on the top of the hill. It has a very East Coast lighthouse feel, with a single green stripe that wraps up and around it like a candy cane. Its light swings around, sending a bright yellow-white beam into the gathering dark at the frequency of about once every 10 seconds. You can see around the base of the lighthouse there is a string of lanterns, what look like old gas Coleman lanterns. Most of them are illuminated with a sort of flickering orange glow. There are some bushes and trees between you and the island, but this island is pretty small. It's just the lighthouse is here because, well, ships would wreck here if the lighthouse weren't here, as they tried to make their way through the Sound and into downtown Foxglove. What are y'all doing?
Is this a situation I'd probably need to anchor the boat and we would, or can it come up onto the shore?
You would tie it up on the dock.
Oh, there's a dock.
There's a dock.
Good. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, of course, because we took a field trip here. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think if I could ease it in and start tying things up at the dock.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to do some of the writing on your hands stuff that Tavo mentioned.
Yeah.
And because I guess I can't write on my own hand, maybe we can like take turns. So we can draw something on our own left hand or non-dominant hand, and then write something on each other's dominant hands.
Yeah.
It's like a sign of trust.
What effect are you trying to garner, and what are you drawing to symbolize it?
I think on my own hand, I would, sort of in the spirit of like armor or resilience, would draw like roots of a tree extending from my wrist down my fingers. And what are you looking for, Mara?
I think I would draw similarly like a wave design, and then maybe with some lines indicating strength or volume, or alternatively I could draw like just something to indicate to remember to use my voice if I need to. So I'm wondering,
maybe like a megaphone?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, or a microphone. Yeah, I think a microphone with lines coming out of it would be... I'm thinking of that, like, you know, that blue emoji? Sorry. Like with the guy speaking and it has the 3 lines.
Yeah,
That's what I would... I just maybe draw that. Like, just like...
Fantastic.
A microphone with some lines on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Just put a semicircle around the key part of your drawing. It symbolizes the brain.
Okay. And then I'll copy for Aubrey on her right arm.
The waves.
Oh, do you want
Or
the waves
something
on your
else.
arm?
I don't know.
Yeah? They have to be the same on each arm, or can we double up with each other?
Anything that to you represents your sense of self and your sense of security.
Yeah, if I could have some of your vines, that would be helpful.
Okay.
We can stick together. Oh, that's pretty. That's sweet.
It really is. What's Tavo
If you
drawing
want
for himself?
vines and waves, you can. I feel like third time will be the charm, and I have figured out roots now.
Oh, it might actually help for us to have some symbols in common. That way we can kind of share the resources. I've got cat paw on the one that I drew, but we can add roots and waves to this one.
Great.
Team tattoos.
Yeah.
All right. This should keep us anchored. And the fact that we're all here together is going to help too.
Okay.
Well, now we start looking for will-o-wisps.
Is it best to have a flashlight or less light?
That's the trick. We'll have to not trip over things, but also keep things dark enough that we can actually see them.
Okay.
So what I've done is I've got a little flashlight here and I just cup the head of it so that I can see enough to walk around.
They understand language?
Well, it's complicated. Sometimes I don't know whether I'm talking or thinking. But they all used to be people, as far as I know. They seem to understand.
I kind of turn to Aubrey. I don't know if my internal monologue has the same effect as my external monologue, but I don't know if that's going to be useful here anyway.
Well, if you find out the answer to it, there's someone writing a thesis very nearby.
That's true.
Did you say there are lanterns around the lighthouse?
Yeah, I think
Are
I
they
will.
lanterns?
You walk up to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably check that out.
You walk up to the base of the lighthouse, attached to wrought iron poles that are sticking out of the ground. Running through an eye in the top is a thick hempen rope. The poles are spread out maybe 8 feet apart from each other, and at the low point of every catenary dip in the rope is an old glass and steel lantern. Looking at the first one that you walk up to, it is not illuminated. There is no oil in the reservoir, and there is no wick. Walking up to one of them that is lit, there is no oil in the reservoir, and there is no wick, but there is light. Hello, you hear spoken into your mind.
That's what I was about to say.
Are you here to play?
Do you remember me?
No, silly.
Who are you?
I'm Jess. Hi.
Hi, Jess. How did you get into this lantern?
Well, the lantern's a nice place to sit. It gets you out of the rain when it's raining.
Is it raining?
No.
Are these your friends?
You get a sense that this thing is looking around. The light flickers and it pauses. I'd like to be your friend.
Okay. We can be friends.
Can we hear this too?
No, you cannot.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
Stay here, Jess. I'm going to talk to one of your friends.
Okay.
And so I go to the next lantern. Hello?
I'd like you to be a speaky spirit.
Sure. Hello?
Hi. Do you remember me?
No, silly. Do you remember me?
What's your name?
Amma.
How did you get here, Amma?
The same way anyone else does.
Why are you in a lantern? Did someone put you here?
Well, maybe once. But I put myself here then. Do you want to be in a lantern? They're very comfortable.
I don't think I would fit just yet.
Well, you could.
Let me think about it.
It would be a good game to fit into a lantern. Do you want to play?
Maybe later.
Billy ran into a lantern while it was raining that day. He wanted to sit, but he wouldn't quite fit till his soul up and floated away. Emily ran as fast as she can towards a great lantern that night. She wanted to sit, but she didn't quite fit till her soul well lit up and took
then he's been here a while. He doesn't pay us much mind. He sets out these glass and steel houses. He really is super kind. Lantern, lantern.
How do you glow in the dark? Lantern, lantern. You just need a soul and a spark.
A soul and a spark.
Don't be scared. There's room in a lantern for you somewhere.
Have you cracked the case wide open? You've been standing and staring for a while.
I've been listening. These are will-o-wisps, and they've been talking to me.
How come we can't hear them?
Well, if you went up and greeted them, they'd probably talk to you too, but I would be careful. Because
Not
they're
nice?
all real high on how much fun it is to sit in the lantern. And I feel like it's just not something I want to do. I got the impression that maybe someone else is putting them into these lamps. Have you ever met the guy who works in this lighthouse?
If it's the same guy who gave us the tour on our field trip, yes?
Yeah, he said the water and the waves were dangerous.
He also said, "Listen up, kids. You're not paying attention, and that'll come back to bite you. They won't stand for it in middle school."
That sounds like the guy.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe we should find out why he's a landlord for will-o-wisps right now.
Did they say anything else about the man who takes care of them?
No, just that he provides them with a place to sit. He might know a little bit more about what's going on here. And none of them remember me still, even though I know I talked to Jess the other night.
I'm happy to go take a look in the lighthouse, see if I can find him.
Well, I think we should all go.
Yeah? Aubrey, do you want to try speaking to the will-o-wisps at all?
I kind of want to try something else,
Oh?
What's that?
which is, I think I want to try a new talent that I bought, although GM, let me know if it would not be appropriate here, because it's technically for crime scenes, mostly. But it's called Elementary. It's a 4th tier talent. Wow, expensive. And it's once per session. Your character may make a difficult, so 3 dice, perception check while present at the scene of a crime. If they succeed, they might identify the prominent characteristics of one person who was at the scene recently when this was committed. You learn details such as their height, weight, clothing, age, and whether they're human.
Okay.
And for each additional success you roll, you may learn about one additional person if they were there.
So you've not encountered any people here. What is your goal with this?
I want to know, because they had said that there was someone putting them in lanterns to identify the details of this person, to sort of look at the way the lanterns are made, the way they're hung, to see, if it is the lighthouse keeper, are they human? If it is someone else, what sort of person should we be looking for as the tender to of this tableau?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a roll.
Okay.
Ooh, cashing in a story point to upgrade.
Yeah, it's a cool ability, but my perception's not very good. So it's a little bit of a hubristic talent to buy, but it feels good for detectives.
It's looking pretty good.
Oh, this is spicy. Detective Aubrey has rolled well again for the first time in her life. No advantages, but 3 successes and an additional triumph. So 4 successes overall.
The threats all canceled out.
The threats are all canceled out.
So
I go into a
3
mind
successes
palace.
3 successes and a triumph. Okay.
Triumph.
Okay.
Let's go.
Tell me everything about everyone who's been here within 24 hours.
You look at the scene. Up near the lighthouse, the ground is gravel and sand as it sort of reaches the base of the lighthouse. And so everything that is included by this string of lanterns is that on the ground. Other than your own, you do not see any footprints on the ground. We're outdoors, high wind area, footprints would probably fade pretty quickly in the sand, and might not be that easy to spot in gravel anyway. You get a real sense of care in how regularly these lanterns are placed, in the fact that they are displayed prominently. Right? This is not someone who is like trapping and hiding these things away. This is someone who is sort of set up a space to take care of something and create something beautiful, and a space where they can exist and sort of be protected.
Birdhouses and bird baths.
Very much that. The only thing that gives you an indication that this might not be a human is the lack of footprints, right? These are clean. Like, it looks like someone has cleaned the glass of these lanterns today. Otherwise, something outdoors with salt spray blowing on them, you would expect to see some water spotting or something on the glass. Nope. Pristine, very, very clean. You would expect that the steel of the frames would be pitted and rusted. Nope. It's polished, clean, gleaming. Looks brand new, is not new at all. The Triumph. I think, if you have an idea. Yeah.
I was just going to ask, because the sort of multiple successes gives you information about additional people, would I be able to identify whether this is an individual or a group?
Yeah, your best guess is this is an individual. This seems to be sort of one clear artistic vision, for lack of a better term. It's a fairly simple arrangement, but in its simplicity, you think a committee couldn't come up with this.
Okay. I guess on a Triumph, can I rack my brains to our field trip in 4th grade and the weird lighthouse keeper and see if there's something there? Like, did he ever walk smoothly as if his feet didn't touch the ground, or talk about making the glass shine perfectly, or anything that with this context I might be able to identify whether it is him or someone else, or the lighthouse keeper.
On your field trip, these lanterns were not here. The memory that you have of this guy is of an older guy who really loved his job, and thinking back as an adult into your childhood memory of him felt kind of lonely. Okay. He believed that, and he kept saying to you, like, it's really important to take care of people, and that's why I stay out here on this little island and make sure that ships can... There sure are a whole lot of shipwrecks down on the cliff side of the city. It's strange, as if someone's... never mind.
Okay. So if we're in retrospect, Aubrey's reflecting on what she thought was a really cool, fun field trip where she made a new friend, and is like, oh, there was a lot of magical stuff going on that I never registered. Okay. So maybe someone at the time whose attitude was, I will be lonely so that others do not need to be, but sought company. Okay. I will share all of this, all of these reflections with the group. I think that, I've been doing the sort of, wide weaving loops and sort of carefully treading around the outside, and looking at footprints in the sand, and then winding my way in.
I go back to the lantern with Jess in it. I say, Jess, who is John?
The lighthouse keeper, silly.
Is he your friend?
Jonathan's the best.
Does he take care of you?
He keeps my lantern clean and makes sure it's tight against the wind.
That's very kind of you. Jess, what were you doing before you came here?
Oh, before I came here... Well, I was playing, silly. I was playing on the rocks at the beach.
How did you get to the beach?
I don't remember.
Have you ever been on a ship, Jess?
I like ships. They're so tall and so fast. You can go places on ships.
Where were you born, Jess? Do you remember?
London, silly.
Okay.
Can't you tell by my accent?
She doesn't say that.
Thanks, Jess. I'm glad I got to talk to you.
Are there sharp rocks on the beach?
There are sharp rocks on this beach, yeah. And between this island and the point of the dome, like the point of the map where the dome sticks out, it's shallow, impassable water. This lighthouse is here to show where the ship sort of where to swing wide around.
I'm just wondering, Tavo, they're stuck in these. What if we were to let one out?
I get the sense they could probably come and go, but we could try.
Are they trapped in there? And smashing one of these would get whoever's attention.
I mean,
not that I really want to do that.
Jess wasn't in this lantern last night.
It seems more like where they rest.
Okay.
Like a tent, maybe.
Okay.
Tava, when you encountered Jess before, she was sort of floating out along the rocks of where the ocean meets the shore here, or the sound meets the shore.
Okay. This is by choice that they're in the lantern. Well,
Jess,
Oh, hello. Who are you?
Hi, my name's Aubrey Stump. I like your lantern.
Isn't it magnificent?
I wanted to know, do you know the names of all the other friends and lanterns here?
Mm-hmm.
Were you here before some of them, or did they arrive at the same time? No.
It's hard to keep track.
Okay. There's not one of you that's been here the longest, or once you were alone and now there's a lot of you very, very recently, I guess is what I'm... Fair.
I don't know.
Okay.
So I guess we can't assume these are all shipwreck victims, but Jess has to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And John the lighthouse keeper is taking care of them, which means that either he's a very kind person,
or there's some guilt. Was there one night that how long ago was she?
She doesn't know. Their perception of time is fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she even knows she was on a ship,
but if
she came from London.
You shared with the group that he's not human? We all know that? Okay. Because I was going to say, if she was on a ship a long time ago, there's no way he could have been the same person. But what if there was one night where he didn't do his job or whatever instance, and that's why these are all here?
I don't think for loneliness he would have created friends. That seems cruel, but worth considering as an alternative, more nefarious motive.
I think we should go to the lighthouse.
Yeah. If he's up there, he's probably seen us by now anyway.
Well, here we go. So I go up to the door of the lighthouse and I knock.
As you knock, it just swings open as if it was almost closed, but the latch didn't latch. The moonlight spills into the base of the lighthouse, and what you see is a small, cozy living space. Directly across from the door, there's a bed set up right next to the window that looks up to the north, and you can sort of see, illuminated by the moon, the coastline further up as the sound winds around, meeting the ground. There's a small sink and hot plate set on a counter next to it, just very basics of cooking. There does seem to be both electricity and running water in this space. There's a little shower that's not really contained by walls. There's like a little ring curtain that looks like someone could pull around. There is on the east and west walls, so to your left and right, as you look into this space, 2 paintings that, as you flip on a light switch to sort of get a better look into the room, look not identical, but very, very similar to each other. I'll describe those in one second. There is also a bust sort of off to the left of one of the paintings of, it looks like a very traditional bust, and the plaque on it, it's only 8 feet away from you or so. The plaque reads President Garfield. It's just a bust of like his face and big bushy beard. The paintings.
I'm going to blue skidoo into one of these paintings immediately. Get ready.
The paintings, which each show the same scene. You look at the painting, you see 3 women in each of them. They're sitting in a train, sort of looking out the window. The window is sort of away from the viewer in the painting. So you're getting the back of one of the women's head and the other 2 in profile as they're looking that way. One of the women who is sitting looking in profile is a painting of your aunt, Fee.
Of course.
Of course. The second woman, the woman who's facing out the window, whose face you do not see whatsoever, she is also sitting. She has in her lap a quilt that she seems to be working on with a needle and thread. And as you can only see the back of her head, you see thick curls of rich auburn hair tumbling down her back to her waist and spreading out onto the seat of the bench. Perched atop her head like a crown is a wreath of greens and flowers, with pale pink roses, morning glories, blooming white, a honeysuckle, a harlequin variety, blooming in purple and yellow, and poinsettias adding bright red. Aubrey, you recognize each of these as flowers that bloom in spring, summer, autumn, and winter. They should never be in...
Okay.
They should never be blooming at the same time.
Okay.
But they are in this.
We have someone with a presumptuous royal claim.
The other thing that Aubrey knows immediately, having written fan fiction about the disappearance of Train 19.
Okay, I didn't write fan fiction. I developed theories. I documented and developed theories. I'm not tech savvy enough to post them on message boards.
The cascading auburn curls are the thing that everyone who remembers the girl who disappeared from Train 19 having. That is the one detail that everyone agrees upon. Nobody mentioned a wreath crown, nobody mentioned a quilt, but both of these paintings have both of those details. The third woman is not someone who either of you recognize, nor Tavo do you.
Did you say they were almost identical?
The paintings are mirrors to each other.
Oh, mirrors. Okay.
No, well, not like mirror flipped, but it's like if two people went to the same paint and sip and were working off of the same reference.
Gotcha.
They're similar in that way.
Okay.
None of you have ever seen a work that would be considered a reference for this painting, though.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The figure with the crown, how old does...
It's hard to say because you see sort of, her shoulders and the back of her head. It is clear that she is an adult, right? She's very, very clearly post-pubescent. Okay. There's no gray painted in her hair in either case, and she doesn't have the sort of lean angles of, a teenager who's recently just had a growth spurt. She's a woman. You would guess young.
Yeah. I have to double check just because Aubrey's hair is a little bit reddish. It's not me. It's this historical person, right?
It's definitely not.
It's definitely
it's
not
the wrong
me.
shade for Aubrey.
Great. Yeah, mine's more mousy with a little bit of red.
Also, your curls have never cascaded this nicely here.
Well, they used to, yeah. Once upon a time they did.
Give me a knowledge about the Fae. This is going to go against two purple. Average check.
No success, but 4 advantages.
No success, but 4 advantages. You are certain that this wreath is dripping with Fae court symbology, but you don't have the specifics to call to mind. You do have some advantages. Are there things that you'd like to spend those on?
Let me think. I'm working through some theories in my head and trying to figure out if there's anything I would be able to ask that or ascertain that would help advance or debunk any of those. The body language between the 3 figures, do they seem to have like a comfortable, easy companion traveler's rapport? Is there tension there from the postures?
Great question. The woman with the auburn tresses seems unconcerned by the presence of the other 2. Fee looks hungry. She is on a mission. You can't tell what that is, but she is more actively engaged, a little bit leaning forward, a bit more light in her eye. These paintings, by the way, are fantastic. Like the amount of detail in them is... Somebody spent months on each one of these.
With another advantage, I'd like to ask, does it look like the same person painted both of these? And if not, what is different about them?
You are certain that they're painted by 2 different people. It's something ineffable about the brushstrokes. Yeah.
Who's missing? I don't think there's anything that I can ask right now to advance or debunk this because I simply do not know enough. But this is the closest thing I've seen that matches the words verdant cycle that I've heard. The first thing I've seen that I've heard. I wonder if this is what that is. And if so, I wonder why all the courts and seasons would be united in one thing, because that seems like something that would only happen by force or cunning. I'm just pondering.
Seems like it, Drew.
Well, meanwhile, Tavo's probably not paying a whole lot of attention to the paintings because he has no reason to think that is important. So he's looking around and, hello? Hello? Anybody here?
What? What's that? Hold on. Hold on. Just hold your horses. I'm coming.
And bumping down the spiral staircase that runs around the outside of the lighthouse's round walls is a elderly man. He looks to be in his 70s, but he looks quite fit. He has short, white, curly hair cropped close to his head. He is wearing canvas work pants and sort of heavy sort of shirt jacket. It's not that cold spring day, so a sort of shirt jacket, also of heavy canvas. He's wearing bright pink galoshes, and he is kind of tromping down the stairs. Oh, hello. Well, always nice to have a visitor.
We're sorry to intrude. We just happened to be visiting the island at night and saw your lantern display outside.
Oh, yes. It's nice, isn't it? It really adds a touch of charm to the old place.
Aubrey and Mara, this is the same man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He is aged well.
Mm-hmm.
He was old before. He wasn't in his 70s, but like casting back your memory, his hair was white. He was kind of stooped like he is now. You would have guessed sort of mid-60s at that point.
We were trying to figure out how you lit them, and it's a great trick. We're really curious.
Well, you don't beat around the bush, do you? All right. Well, what do you think, huh?
And he sort of puts his hands on his hips and leans in close to Tavo.
Well, if I didn't know better, I would think that maybe they were ghost lights.
Someone who knows what he's talking about, he says as he looks over to Mara and kind of like gestures with a thumb to Tavo. You got yourself a smart one here.
And I gesture with my thumb as well, as if we share an inside joke.
Well, I'm glad you didn't think that was absurd.
You have seen stranger things than ghost lights out here. I'm a lighthouse keeper, for goodness sake.
How long have you been lighthouse keeping?
Well, I think I've been lighthouse keeping since, I was 30 years old or so.
How many years ago were you 30 years old?
After a certain point, you stop keeping track too closely there, youngster.
No, that's fair. I get it.
Well,
Honestly, same.
Well, Aubrey's kind of been buddying up with this guy. Mara's been very quiet.
Yeah, I think he
almost
rocks.
Cold. Just out of observation. I think she is locked into the painting of her aunt and is debating for a while whether to say anything. And then she finally brightens up a little bit.
Oh, someone who appreciates art, huh?
It's beautiful. It's so eerie. You know how like you'll look at paintings and you know that it's not someone that you know in the painting, but it looks like someone that you know?
Mm-hmm.
I could have sworn that looks like my aunt, but it definitely isn't. But that's so beautiful.
Which one do you like better? Help me settle a bet.
Oh, which painting?
Mm-hmm.
Were there two people in the train car with them?
Say what now?
Were there two people in the train car with them?
With who?
With the three of them, and they each painted what they saw?
No, I don't think so. Well, my brother and my sister, they painted these, and they gave them to me for my 42nd birthday. Very meaningful birthday, you see. They'd never taken a train trip in their life. They just, each of them swore up and down, this image came to them in a dream, and then they painted it. And they were so cross with each other when they showed up here and unveiled them, and each one had painted the precise same thing. Well, that was...
You have seen some strange things, haven't you, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's this lighthouse guy scene?
Strange things like yep.
rocky tendrils coming out of the waves, wrapping up a boat and pulling sailors to their graves. Moons that drip with blood, and a place that's dry right after it floods. I've seen some things. Oh, I've seen some things. Constellations that have been rearranged. Postcards with writing that is very strange.
Very strange.
10 years later, it turned out to be a code, and I was able to give someone who wronged me what they owed. Oh, it's strange, the things you see when you guard against the reaching sea. Oh, it's strange, the things you see when you look into the dark. You look like you've seen some strange things yourself, my dear.
You could say that. The strangest thing I've seen as of late is looking in the mirror at my own face. Sometimes I don't recognize that girl. The fire in her eyes that unfurls. It's strange.
Oh, it's strange.
It's strange.
What you see when you guard against the reaching sea.
Yeah, that hits
Oh,
really close
it's
to home.
strange. Oh, it's strange. What you see when you look into the dark. The darkness looks back at you. Now, I can't remember. Your face looks a little familiar, but,
Oh, we've met before. My name's Tavo.
well, Tavo is always nice to have a visitor.
Do you remember me, right?
Well, you get a lot of people out here, and my mind's not once what it was, so,
Fair enough.
but you're more than welcome. I'm happy to give you the grand tour. You're seeing most of it right now.
Given the things that you just described, this probably won't seem like a strange question, but why don't the will-o-wisps remember people?
Or they're ghosts. I don't know, do ghosts form memories?
We think they do. And I've been recording this phenomenon around the country, but I haven't been able to reproduce it here, and I'm trying to understand why.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that. All I know is, well, I just got to give them a nice place to live and, keep them out of the rain when it gets cold.
Do they remember you?
Well, some of them do. But that's because I knew them before.
Before?
Oh, when they was alive. Yeah, my brothers and sisters, they're out there. That's why I put up the lanterns was for them.
The ones who made the paintings, they're out in the lanterns?
Sure, Elizabeth's over there, and as far away as he can get from her is Adam over there.
Mara runs out the door to Elizabeth.
Oh, if we get their memories back. You're sitting on a gold mine, Mara.
What?
If you get their memories back.
Uh-huh. I don't know where you want to follow, but I'm just saying that is what Mara does.
Yeah, we'll go to you in just a second.
Well, thank you for keeping them safe. You said you knew some of them before. Was there an accident? Maybe before you started being the lighthouse keeper?
Well, no. I mean, there's lots of accidents, and the lighthouse is here to make sure there's fewer of them, but, yeah, well, even though there's not quite so many shipwrecks over here as there are on the far side of the island over near the cliffs. I wonder why that... never mind. You can't control storms.
Of course not.
Elizabeth and Adam, they'd painted these magnificent works of art that you see before you here, and they were so upset with each other that they swore they would come back the next year, each with a bigger and more beautiful painting, and finally prove which of them was the best artist. To be honest, I'm not even sure why they were fighting about it. It was just one of those things. Each one of them swore up and down that the other had copied their painting. And, well, on my 43rd birthday, when they came out here, they crashed their boat into the rocks and drowned.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Were there...
But it was a long time ago, and I just have to keep the lights burning to make sure it doesn't happen to others, right?
Did they have the paintings with them? New paintings?
Yeah, but the sea took them. I never got to see them.
Aubrey looks at the driven, determined face of Mara's Aunt Fee, caught in a moment of maybe unconscious, like the idea that she was captured in a moment of vulnerability or just a moment where she was being observed that she did not know about. And that perhaps someone with the power to cause wrecks would not want that to happen again. Who's to say, though?
What are you lighting the main lamp with these days?
Well, it's electric now.
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah, you want to go up and take a look?
I want to know how you get the glass so clean.
Huh?
How do you get the glass so clean?
Windex?
Even on the lanterns?
Or you mean, are you talking inside or?
Both.
It's mostly Windex.
How do you walk without leaving footprints? Is that also Windex?
Huh? Walk without leaving. What?
Can I do a quick check to figure out if this man is a ghost and doesn't know it?
Oh, sure.
What kind of check is that?
While you're doing that, Tavo leans over to you and whispers, "The galoshes." That's all he says.
They're magic or like
That's all he says.
Yeah.
I know what I meant.
Okay.
I would take either occult or arcane to know if he's a ghost, or faith. Occult or faith to know if he's a ghost.
I don't want to blindside him and be like, "Are you a ghost?" and having him be like, "What?"
Oh, you're rolling hot today.
This is the opposite of the arsonist thing where I couldn't roll a success to save my life. Mm-hmm. This is one success and the rest all cancels out.
I am also interested in trying to ascertain the nature of him, although I hadn't jumped to that conclusion yet. What should I be rolling?
Occult or faith. So occult is going to key off of intellect. Actually, I think for you it could be arcane. No, it's a. What's your school skill? Because you have like a school specialization knowledge, right? Is that like parapsychology?
My school skill?
We talked about it being.
Oh yeah, it's that or cognitive psychology, depending on how you want to play it. But it's the same. Yeah,
you can roll that.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to go against 2.
I think I just absentmindedly whisper back, "They're great boots. I do want some now."
I've got a big handful of dice getting rolled here.
Ooh!
That looks good.
Ooh! Students know things.
That is 4 successes and a threat.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like.
That's a great roll.
That's a perfect roll.
Both of you are certain that this is a ghost.
Whoa.
The threat here, I'm not sure what the threat is going to be, except that, you know what, here's the threat. Tavo, the fact that there is a ghost as coherent, both in terms of able to manifest a physical presence and able to like talk so moving sound so that it hits your eardrums and not into your brain, doesn't fit with some of the research that you've done. So the threat here is that this has undone probably 2 semesters worth of your thesis work.
It's because you have a theory about how they behave, and the will-o-wisps are disproving it in one direction. This guy's disproving it in the other direction. Academia.
Tavo looks both stricken and driven at the same time.
And we're going to cut over to Mara as she's running out towards Elizabeth.
Yep. And she's probably at one end, the far end of the side of the island that her painting is on.
So that she would be able to like be looking at it, so to speak?
If it was like, east and west, each painting, and they're on opposite sides of the lantern ring, whichever side
Oh yeah, so like they've split each to the side of their paintings.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I actually didn't know which one, but
Yeah,
if I run
he pointed and said Elizabeth's over there.
Good. I'm gonna run up to her. Elizabeth, can I speak with you?
Hello.
Hi. Sorry I didn't introduce myself. I was just in there talking to your brother, Jonathan.
Oh, okay. Hello. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Mara. I wanted to talk to you because I think you knew my aunt.
Who's that?
She's in the painting that you made.
Oh, no, I just imagined that in a tree.
Really?
I don't know any of the people in the painting.
In your dream.
Mm-hmm.
But your brother had the same dream?
Which painting do you think is better?
Yours.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got her features just right.
I don't know who you mean, but thank you.
Well, since your painting was so good, how could you remember all of that from a dream? When I have dreams, I usually forget them the next morning.
I don't know. That one stuck around.
What if I told you that what you saw, that actually happened?
Really? To who? Were you there?
I wasn't, but my aunt was there.
Well, how do you know? Did she tell you?
Yes, she did.
Oh. So she told you a story about taking a train ride. That sounds fun. I never got to do that.
You never got to ride a train? What if I told you this train disappeared?
A train that disappeared? Did your aunt disappear?
I don't know. She gets really sensitive about this story, so that's why it was so crazy to me that you had never been there, and you know more about it than I do, because you were able to visualize it.
Weird.
It is weird. So, Elizabeth...
Did Jonathan tell you which one he likes better? He would never tell Adam and me.
No, he asked all of us, and he tried to settle a bet. And then he told me about how the next following year you would meet another painting, but that he didn't got to see it because of the wreck.
I remember working on it. I don't remember what it was.
It was a different painting?
Wanted to show that I was a better painter than Adam.
Was it also based off of a dream?
No.
No, it was real painting?
Well, painting of a dream is a real painting too.
It is, that's true.
Took a lot of time.
Did your brother paint the same thing again?
Yeah, he copied me. Oh, again. I didn't see. We wanted
You didn't
to.
see.
We didn't.
And you don't remember? Was this same woman in your painting?
No, it was different.
Okay. I wonder if this is a story point or something, if Mara has a photo of her mother in her wallet at all.
Sure.
Right. Was it of this lady?
I don't have eyes.
Okay.
What I mean to say is, it's hard to tell. There wasn't a lady in the painting.
There wasn't. Okay.
I don't know. It's hard to remember things.
Above the table, I'm like, I don't know if I want to use this voice on her.
Sure.
I feel bad because she doesn't know what's going on.
It seems like they're being as forthcoming with information as they can be.
Yeah. Just the kind of playfulness of it. I'm wondering if trying to outsmart her or trying to get more information, if it's accessible, like playing a game or something. I'm just trying to think of what that
They
would
love
be.
games.
They do love games. Elizabeth, would you play a game with me?
I love games.
That's great, because so do I. Okay. I'm trying to think of what it would be.
We could play Jump Along the Rocks.
Okay. What other games do you like?
We could play Climb the Lighthouse. We could play How Long Can You Hold Your Breath Underwater?
Let's play that one.
Okay.
Now, hold on. Because I know that I can use the vocal powers of a siren, but I don't know if Mara knows if she can do this or not. Like, breathe underwater.
You don't know if Mara knows, or you don't know if Lauren knows?
I don't know if Lauren knows. That's the better question. And if that's true, or what will happen. I just kind of want to see what happens.
Well,
Okay.
let's just decide.
Yeah.
Can Mara breathe underwater?
Yeah, I think she can.
Great.
That's great. Because of course they would, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
4 hours later, we walk out after having a long conversation with the ghost man, and they both are holding their breaths underwater.
Yeah. That's accurate.
You just here. You're really good at this game.
If I win, Elizabeth, will you try really hard to remember something for me?
You're playing with me. I can try right now.
Okay. Has your memory always been spotty?
I think I remember things pretty well.
Hmm.
Jonathan said
it's hard to make new memories because I'm a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it's hard to remember things from when I was alive because I'm a ghost.
Okay.
But I think I remember things pretty well.
Well, isn't Jonathan a ghost?
No, silly.
Oh, my bad. I got a weird read on that then. Then, do you think if he wasn't talking to you so much and you had some privacy to think, like when you're playing with me right now, you'd be able to remember things better? Like maybe what your other painting was?
I know it had a tree in it.
Oh, cool. Like a tree during fall with the leaves all different colors?
I don't know.
Just some kind of tree.
Tree.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe I can come back and play with you some more.
You mean it?
Yeah, we could play this game maybe tomorrow.
You're too good at this game. We might have to play Climb Up the Lighthouse tomorrow.
Are you saying that I won?
Yeah, you won. I cheated because I don't have to breathe.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Then they come up. Well, I'll think on it, but maybe if I come back, I'll decide the question I want to ask you because I won.
Okay. I guess I'll see you when you come back.
And so our Do-Re-Mi detectives discover that everyone on the island is ectoplasmic. Can they uncover why so many undead are around? Find out next time on RPG Major.
Tavo is special guest Drew Simchik, who improvises regularly at CSZ Seattle. Find him on Instagram at xana.drew. That's xana.dru, or at astrodna.bandcamp.com. Mara Vertere is Lauren Drake, who performs in scripted and improvised musicals around Seattle. Find her on socials at La Drake. Aubrey Stump is Camilla Franklin, who also creates the art for our show. Find her on Instagram at Camillastrator. All of the accompaniment for this arc was improvised live in the room by our incredible guitarist, Noah Samuels. Find him on Instagram at Samuels_Noah. And I'm Helix. Connect with me and the rest of the cast on our Discord or on Instagram at RPG Major. All right, we'll see you next time. We have two partner songs. One is for a show called Ladies of Lore. Let's teach you about lore. I've done a bunch of research and I'm going to tell you about female characters from lore.
Oh, cool.
It's really cool. It's really well done.
Yeah.
And the gal, India, who makes it, she and I have been talking for a bit back and forth. We may in the future try and do a collab episode with her.
Oh, cool.
Where she researches the siren and then throws songs at us.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Yes, cool.
Whoa.
India, if you're listening, that sounds fantastic, and I'm looking up your podcast right now. We all have lots of ladies in our lives, but we may not know the secrets that they hide. Oh, mother dear, you're just like me, ladies of lore. And
If you want to know more, sit around the campfire with the ladies of lore. If you want to know more, sit around the campfire with the ladies of lore.
I'm following it.
I was saying whenever a bunch of women hang out together in history, it's Mara's family.
It just
The spring snapped?
Snapped. It did something. I don't know what it was. That scared me so much when we talk about
You all right?
ghosts. I didn't touch it.
I believe you.
It just wow, ghosts. Okay. Anyway.